This is Miss Crosby. I wanted to show you some stuff that I've been doing lately and kind of get you started on my next project for art. These are some of the new books that have come in thanks to the Ward Chambers grant that we won. And we ordered all these cool Zentangle books. And I've also got some printouts done from a book that I purchased myself thanks to Doodling, who has a printout on his YouTube channel. I was able to download that one, and this is one that I could not resist when I was at Michael's the other day. But I kind of wanted to take you guys back and give you a little bit of history. This is an example of an illuminated letter project that I do with the kids from the Book of Kells. And there's also the Book of Hours and some different things like that. And we started off with that, and they're like, this is the same thing as the illuminated manuscripts and the illuminated letters. And that's true. It is very, very similar. But I wanted to show you some examples of some of the different stuff that I've found. And I keep them sometimes in a 3-ring binder. Some of them get laminated. Some of them I make copies of, and I pass them out to the students. And I have all different kinds of examples of different types of Zentangles and things like that. Some of them are lucky enough to get in one of these little plastic sleeves and whatnot. So you can see some really bright colors and fun stuff like that. I really like this one. It says Free Your Mind. I found that one on Pinterest. Pinterest has some really good examples. There's a little rose. I'll try to keep you guys straight. I like to do some letters. That's the letter F. And there's some cool circles that I found, some mandalas and that sort of thing. This is one of my 5th grade students' work right here, as you can see. And then I've also got some really nice pieces that I laminated and printed out for the kids. This one is one that I did myself, and there's a video on how to do that one and how to blend the colors together using baby oil or mineral oil if you don't have the baby oil. Okay, and that one I did on cardstock with just pink cardstock and a Sharpie marker. I made that copy for my kids. And then some of these, I just found them on the internet and I printed them out. Now, a lot of Zentangling and it's just doodling, guys. It's just drawing, okay? Zentangling is a new term for it, but we've been doing drawings and things like that for years and years and years, thousands of years. People have drawn them on their hands, drawn designs on their hands using Mindy or henna. People have also done some cool drawings, you know, in the 60s for posters and binders and tattoos and things like that. We have some steampunk stuff that people are doing now, Valentine cute stuff, and just all kinds of fun things. Some of it has a recognizable picture like an elephant or a heart or another shape like that. And others have mushrooms. Amber Sims for a dismissal. Amber Sims. Sorry about that, guys. I'm filming this at school. But anyways, that was the intercom. So this is one I actually did on my phone. I think it was my phone. Maybe it was my tablet. I can't hardly remember anymore. With just a drawing app that I had. And I just, you know, drew it as best I could with my stylus. And then I added some color to it and printed it out on the printer at home. And you can see just all different kinds of fun things here to do. These are some examples of some different Zentangles that I really, really have enjoyed. Now, sometimes on some of these pages you can find examples, step-by-step instructions of how to do this or that. Those are really fun. And sometimes you can't find an example of how to do it, and you have to figure it out, you know, kind of on your own, and that can be challenging and fun also. Sometimes you can put them in your altered books, in your sketchbooks and things like that, which I'm encouraging my students to do. And the type I would like to show you today is the most basic. It's called a string Zentangle. That's for a friend of mine, Miss May. I kind of did her little nameplate. Got butterflies and all kinds of cool stuff in here. Hearts. Kind of Jim Dine inspired hearts, but more precise, I guess you could say. But if you love to draw and you love to doodle, you can go anything from geometric to really organic forms and shapes. And this is a type of string tangle. Most of them that you see from the beginning are string tangles. And then you kind of get, this is an old handout. It was printed out in 1992 before anybody probably even thought about printing out or talking about the word Zentangle before it was even popularized. But you can see it's the same kind of thing. You're just doodling and drawing lines and using repeated patterns and shapes. Okay, before all these patterns and shapes had real names and things like that. We just called it drawing back in the day. Okay, so you can see some examples of all of that. Using repeated lines, repeated shapes, patterns, all that fun kind of stuff. Perspective sometimes. You can use shadowing and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to grab a Sharpie marker and I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you guys how to do some of this as best I can. Now this one's a string, and I did not start drawing this with a pencil at all. I just started drawing some lines here and there and yonder, and I just overlap some of the lines, and I let some of them be, you know, kind of wavy. I tend to like the wavy lines. Now once you've got your wavy lines, you can break these up into shapes. You can put stripes on them, you can put letters in them. Sometimes I like to put my favorite scripture verse in there. Sometimes I just like to go completely free form. You can also use letters like they did in the Illuminated manuscripts and things like that. Okay. And in this one, I'm just putting some stripes on there. I usually have some kind of striped artwork somewhere so you can kind of get a feel for it. Alright, and all I've done here is draw some shapes. And if I feel like one of the shapes is too big, I just take and break that shape up a little bit further, like so, drawing some more lines on it. Maybe sometimes I want to put a little loop-de-loo in there and make the shape more interesting. Okay, now this is called a string tangle. And any kind of Zentangle is supposed to be relaxing. If you're not relaxing, then you're doing it wrong and you need to put it down and go do something else. But a Zentangle is typically very fun, very free, very flowing, and that sort of thing. Once you get it like you want it, that is to say. But you can also make it very precise. Some people like to do theirs on graphing paper. I'm not one of those people. I'm not that precision oriented. I like to be a little freer with my artwork. So I've got some nice stripes over here. Maybe I want to add some more lines to it. Maybe break those stripes up into further squares, and then I can start doing some of those cool three-dimensional looking boxes and stuff. And if you repeat this shape over and over again, this particular pattern, you get a really cool checkerboard type three-dimensional dealio going on. I can't remember the name of this particular pattern, but you color the little box in right there. Let's see if I can move in a little bit so y'all can see that. And I'm just using a Sharpie for this one because I know that shows up the best on video. Okay, you kind of get a feel for it. Draw yourself a little square in one of the corners. And if you really want to take this to the next level, you can add some pencil to it, maybe use a blending stump, that sort of thing. Okay. And you can divide this shape up into as many parts or sections as you choose and make it just as complex as you would like to make it. Let me help see if I can get this positioned so that you can see what I'm doing and I can see what I'm doing and everybody can see what I'm doing without having to hold my arm up above my head. Okay, there's a couple of cool little squares and you just fill those in. Now there's hundreds, probably thousands of different types of designs that you could do for a Zentangle. They do not all have to be this precise or this exact. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to put in each section is up to you. And if you don't like the idea of doing something as freeform as this, you could do the letters to your initial, like a monogram. I actually have one book that's on that specifically. I think it's Zentangle number 8 by Suzanne McNeil. That's that one there. If I can hold it up for you to see it. Okay, I really do like her stuff, and she does some really cool stuff on YouTube as well. So if you like her artwork, you can see some really good examples. She does videos, courses, and that stuff. I'm not a certified Zentangler. I am a fine artist, and I just love to draw. And Zentangling or Zendoodling is just one of my many artistic outlets. Okay, that's a fun one to do. If you like that one, there are videos on how to do it online. You can do it any number of ways. You can draw the diagonal line across the square and then fill in the little square, or you can draw the little square and then do the diagonal line. It's kind of just up to you. Might be easier for some people to draw the diagonal line and then fill in the little right angle, the little 90-degree angle. And if you want to go in a curvy space, you can really mess with people's heads, and it can get really optical illusionist type of deal. Okay, you can go surreal like MC Escher. You can get kind of pop art with it. Or you can, you know, do things more realistically or more abstract. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. Okay, but that gives you an idea of how you can do that, and each little space will be filled in with a different design, and I'll come back later and show you what it looks like when I get finished. Alright guys, thanks. Love you guys. Please subscribe if you enjoy my stuff, and I'll talk to you later. God bless.